Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Taz, and this is another episode of the Tazz Perspective Podcast. Just wanted to come on and do a little bit more talking, discussion about basically picking up from the last show that we did. Um, I am, and of course, this show, I promise y'all, may not be long. I don't know for sure, but it may not be long. I didn't know, or rather, I didn't expect to happen with this particular topic. I didn't expect it to take off the way that it has and getting the responses that I am getting in regards to it. Some of the responses have, been something if you guys were on the last show, but for the most part, I think that this is a topic that needs to be discussed more, just due to the fact that since I started talking about what I've had to go through and with the book, I'm sorry, with the movie or film that I am writing in regards to it, the response that I've gotten has been remarkable. Um, from people that I know, from people that I don't know, I've never seen before, my inboxes, from either Facebook or from Instagram or from TikTok has been very inspiring for me to keep on going, to let me know that where I am and what I'm doing is something that needs to be done. Um, Me personally, I didn't necessarily realize that so many people have gone through being abused sexually by someone and not opening up. I wanted to make sure I'm saying that right. Like, because I know it goes on, duh, because it happened to me. But for the level of response that I've gotten from individuals who have gone through this also, that didn't necessarily know or feel that they could speak about it, has completely blown my mind, I promise. And I'm in awe because the biggest message I am getting, or the biggest response I'm getting, is don't stop talking about it. On the last episode, hold on one second. On the last episode, we had someone to get in the comments. And of course, Evelyn knows me from my childhood. Um, but a lot of things that she was saying made me realize why a lot of people in situations like this choose not to say anything. I wish I would have took screenshots of the conversation and how she responded to everything. Um, because this is how I, just through her posts, this is how I figured out how people work. Whenever she first got on the screen, she was like, be bold and tell your truth, tell your testimony, free yourself. So that's what I started doing. Um, until it got to the point that she realized that the people who were involved in the part of me being um, sexually abused, touched, or whatever, were people that she is still in contact with, that she and they quote unquote love and care for each other. It went from free yourself and tell your truth to um, the pastors. They knew about it. If they knew about it, they didn't say anything because they didn't want to get involved in it. And then she threw out the comment, well, I've been knowing you all your life and you've always been soft. As if me being a soft person would be a reason for someone or be permission to have someone to touch me. Keeping in mind, this is not something, I'm 44 now. This is not something that happened to me in my 20s. I was in high school when this happened. Let that sit right there. I was in high school when this happened. And the way it transpired or the way it started to happen is I learned, and I shared with someone on Sunday. The way this happens is they the person, I'm not even going to necessarily say the preacher because it's not just a church thing. It's coaches, it's aunties, uncles, or whatever, brothers, sisters. They look at the person who don't have a whole lot or whose self-esteem is real low, and they show you that they can do things for you, that they can give you things, they can buy you things, they can make you feel a certain way. And if you really want to, well, not even say that, but if you're in a situation to where you don't have certain things, in my situation, the preacher, Brigham, that was doing what he was doing with me, or have that, he saw a young man that was in church who played keys and sang and did all the things. But he also knew that I didn't come from a house that had a lot of money, that had a lot of wherewithal to do things, to buy things. So the presentation was basically when the preachers would send me on the road with him. Um, it was just buying suits, buying clothes, buying whatever it is I needed at that moment to, um, I guess, act the part and to do the duty while I was on the road, which was to play and sing or whatever. Um, so we have to be careful to parents, be really, really careful with your kids whenever, because like people see the need and they will feed off of that. And a lot of times the child won't tell you that something is going on. The child won't tell you that a coach, a teacher, a counselor, a preacher, or whatever won't tell you that they're being touched or that somebody is doing something to take advantage of them. Number one, because they feel like no one would believe them. And I can say I can go from that part because I know for me when this was happening to me, um, I mentioned before I went to uh, the leaders or the pastors that I was under in Lake Charles at the time, and I told them. But in telling them what happened, the response was as if they didn't tell me they didn't believe me. They showed me they didn't believe me. Because right after we had the conversation, I told them what happened. They basically had their son and the preacher Brigham to come to my home to ask me to play again. So I shut up because it was like, ain't nobody gonna believe me anyway. I told other people. But the thing that I don't like about the black church is situations like that, they hide it and they be like, okay, we just gonna pray about it and we gonna let God handle it. I understand that God is, God can do anything, all the things I know and I understand that. But at the same time, we have to stop hiding behind prayer. We have to get from behind the let's let God handle it and we move on with our lives. Because while you guys are moving on with your lives, there are young people who are hurting. There are young people who are trying to figure out. Um, because, like for instance, for me, regardless of who I am and what I do and who I love now, whenever this was going on with me, this wasn't something that I was looking at. I wasn't trying to be that guy back then. But it didn't matter because all he saw was somebody that was just vulnerable, that was kind of out there because at the time I wasn't me and my mom, we were at ends or whatever, so we weren't necessarily seeing eye to eye on things. So that in itself was enough. Whenever I guess the preachers or the pastors at the time basically told him what my situation was, so that was enough for him to horn in and be like, okay, this is it. But yes, it did make me want to be quiet because I felt like when the preachers, the pastors that I like, and let's go back to what Evelyn was saying on the last broadcast, the preachers that I was living with, that was, quote unquote cared for me, that I was going to bats for, that I was standing up for, that I wouldn't let nobody say nothing bad about them to me. Whenever they decided to, instead of listen to who they were calling their son and protect me, they decided that the person that can come to town, fill up a church, and raise money and leave an offering was a lot more important. So, being where I was in my life at the time, anyway, I was like, look, ain't nobody believing me. And those that are believing me is just saying, let's just pray about it. So let me just shut up because hearing let's pray about it didn't help because you want me to pray. And now this was my mindset then. You're telling me to pray to a God about one of his people who are still going around preaching, praying, prophesying about him doing something and then expect that God to answer. I'd rather just shut up and say nothing at all. And that's exactly what I did. I shut up and I said nothing at all. Was it the best thing to do? Not necessarily. But for me, at that time, it was. When I look back in retrospect right now, when I think of the fact that knowing um, what he was doing to me and knowing the effect that it had on me, should I have said something more than just a couple times? Yes, but whenever your kids come to you and they tell you something and you doubt it, but they know it's real, they know it's true, they know this is happening, but they don't see an action to it. All that makes them do is shut down. And that's probably the worst thing because once your child goes into shutdown mode, because no one believes that they're being abused, that no one believes that they're going through what they're telling you guys that they're going through, that shutdown mode is just like, what the hell happens, happens. I don't want to fight it no more. I don't want to have to deal with it no more. And a lot of times, that's what causes individuals to, let me say, that's what caused a lot of people who are not necessarily sex addicts to become sex addicts. Because I need to do something to dull the pain. So I'm either going to have sex, I'm going to start drinking, I'm going to smoke, I'm going to do something to make me not feel that. It's kind of like grief in a way to me. Like I have to do something to deaden the hard, rough thing that trauma I had to go through that no one believes I've gone through. I would encourage people now in my later age, listen to your friends, listen to your family, because you could be the person that they need to. that they need to talk to save their lives, to save their destiny. Because even a lot of people, once they go through certain things, they shut down any direction that they had in their life, like dreams and aspirations and all of that. It shuts down because they can't get past that point of what happened. And whenever they can't get past that, their entire life shuts down. Like they don't have the dreams and aspirations to be anything because, and this I know for sure. I'm not gonna go into detail, but like everything that they had planned to do in life just goes dead because it's like they stop living after the abuse. They stop living after I'm trying to get help, but nobody wants to help me. Everybody just want to pray for me. Like I remember whenever I started to talk about it to friends and family, and everybody was showing anger towards Howard, but nobody wanted to do anything. Like we're angry, but we're gonna pray. No, I'm not in a situation where I want to pray right now. I'm in a situation where I need to see someone stand up for me. Because keep in mind, I was young. I need to see somebody stand up for me because I can't do it myself. I don't have the wherewithal to even know what to do. So, not having the knowledge of what to do. And like I remember when I first started talking about this, I made a post on somebody's Facebook, and they asked, and then somebody asked me the question. They was like, "Well, did you ever tell any? Like, did you report him when this happened?" No, I didn't. And I'm gonna tell y'all why before y'all start judging. I didn't report because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to report. And the people that I told didn't tell me anything about reporting. All they did, again, is tell me we're going to pray about it. That hurts because, again, these are people who are supposed to love and care about you. These are people who are supposed to be there. And whether they want to believe it or not, take some kind of action to it. But but that didn't happen. I understand the person, and this is just the true part of me where I am now. I understand the person who is out there doing whatever they can now to survive because nobody ever saw them. Nobody ever reached out to help them. Whenever they actually went to say, I'm hurting because of this. Let me tell you though, today on April 21st, 2026, I see you. I care. You have a voice, and it's you don't have to be quiet about it. Find somebody to talk to. Maybe it's a counselor. Maybe it's try a family member, I guess. Because the only way you can heal from this, like this is a healing thing for me. Like me talking about this now, besides getting ready to write the actual film that goes with this is my healing. I have conversations with my bishop and first lady, co-pastor, doctor, or whatever. I have conversation with them, and it helps me great. But for me, my healing is getting it out of my head, getting it out of my heart, talking about it. And once I started doing that, and I started getting the responses that people have been giving me, telling me how I'm helping them because of things that they experienced as a kid, that they experienced as a teenager, or even in their adult life that they've never said anything about. It makes you want those are the things that make you want to do it more than when you get the messages like Evelyn did telling me because I was always soft and all this other stuff. I don't care. I really don't. And even until today, like I don't even hate her at all. So, you know, we just have to get to the point that we're able to tell ourselves the truth. One of the greatest quotes that I live by, I want to say I heard this from Charlemagne the God with the Breakfast Club, is it's not my fault what happened to me, but it's my responsibility to heal. I was a kid. He was a grown man. The pastors knew. Pastor's son knew. It's not my it's not my fault that it happened. I didn't ask for it, but it's my responsibility at 44 of how I deal with it. It's my responsibility at 44 how I heal from it and not to let it overtake me. I would encourage the listener, the person that views this, um, if it's you, number one, again, it's not your fault. You did nothing wrong. You just so happen to be around all the wrong people. You told people that you thought would listen, that you thought would believe, that you thought would act on your behalf, and they didn't. So life probably made you become something or be something or do something that you know is not in your character. It's not your fault. Because even in that kind of situation, because it's out of your control, you kind of just go with the flow of things. Especially if it happens to you when you're younger. You don't know how to control all these feelings from abuse. You don't know how to control all these feelings from nobody believing you. So you kind of just go with it. Because when you're young, there's no blueprint. When you're older, you still may feel that there is no blueprint. But I would encourage you, find your voice. Look, if you're watching this video and you just need to just be like, yes, thank you, Tazz, because this happened to me. Inbox me. Let's talk about it. 100% confidential. Everything we talk, nothing, because I don't want you, and I've said this on the last show, and I'm gonna say it on every show after that. I don't want to be the person that see you later on down the line because something happened that you couldn't control because you didn't heal or no one listened. Everything about you matters to me because I've been there. And I know for sure when it come down to my situation with Howard, he only hangs around all of his musicians. They're all males. Traveling is all males. So I have no other thing but to understand or believe that he's still doing this. I remember whenever I made the post on Facebook about it, and that the lady inboxed me, telling me that I didn't even say his name, but just through the description, I wonder if I can find that. Just through the description of who he was, she was able to tell me who he was because he did the same thing to her son, but her son never said anything either. I see it, but there's a couple names in it, so I don't want to. Well, let me see. Yeah, there's a couple names in it, so I have to edit those names out for their privacy. Kids, whatever, whoever it is, you have a voice. you have the opportunity to know that somebody hear you and somebody is going to believe you. You don't have to be in a situation like me where I said what I said, and it's like, nigga, whatever. They just pretty much laughed and went on with their lives. Because it happened to you doesn't mean that it was your fault. I appreciate you guys once again for who are going to watch this, who will understand this, who will feel this, who will share this. This is a part of my life, a part of my testimony, a part of my story that I am developing into a film that I hope some little boy or some young lady or even some older person will listen to this, watch the film, and get up and speak out. Because you really do have a voice in the matter. It don't seem like it. Trust me, I understand it don't seem like it. But I promise you do. And if nothing else, I want you to know that I hear you and I see you. For those of you who have already responded and let me know how this is helping you, please do me a favor. Don't stop watching. Don't stop listening. And if you're in my life physically, don't stop coming up to me, talking to me. Because I'm going to listen to everything that you say. No judgment, because I've been there too. Sometimes we need that. We need somebody to listen, to know that we're not by ourselves. I'm here. Do me a favor, if this show does anything for you and you would like to support, you can support me on Cash App at I am Trevane. The information is on the screen. I am Trevane, and Zelle at spotlightmedia.info@gmail.com. You can stream all of the Tazz Perspective Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, and on YouTube under All Things Spotlight. Follow us on social media for the particular Spotlight Podcast Network at All Things Spotlight. I appreciate you guys so much who are going to watch this on replay over and over again. I appreciate you guys for doing so. And again, share this with somebody who needs to know that their voice matters. There's so much more to come with this, and I want you guys to come along for the ride. It's your boy Tazz. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Bye.